hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a very special book launch livecast. I am excited today because we have the only Mary Pat Knight here to talk about her new book, The Humanized Leader. This is the transformative power of emotionally intelligent leadership to impact culture, team, and business results. So I'm going to bring Mary Pat on here in just a second, but before I do, I want to let you know the book is available right now on Amazon. You can pick it up in paperback or Kindle. But I'll tell you, the Kindle is at 99 cents. In fact, we put that as a launch day special. So we would definitely encourage you to pick up the Kindle version of the book. And in fact, you're doing so will help Mary Pat in regards to her launch and help spread the message of the humanized leader. I see some people coming in on the chat log. And I would recommend, please say hello, say hi, where you're from. And then as we go through, cheer Mary Pat on and also ask any questions that we can turn around and pass to her so that we can get your questions answered as we go. Well, Mary Pat, let's bring you on. There we go. How are you this morning? This is an exciting day.
I am, I would say, I acknowledge Kelly Knight, who is EOS Worldwide Integrator and President, and she said simultaneously excited and terrified. So it's like like that roller coaster sort of feeling, but the overall feeling is grateful for the support, and I'm just so excited. I'm so happy to get this work out into the world. And thanks for all your support, Everett.
Oh, well, we've been having a blast. You've been a joy to work with from our standpoint as a publisher. And I can just tell you from the standpoint of my team that very much have enjoyed working with you.
Thanks.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about, well, actually, before we get into the book, tell us a little bit about you, about your background. What brings you to this point of writing The Humanized Leader?
Well, I look back on the trajectory of my career, and the common denominator is that I've left a wake of leaders as I've left an organization. So what I saw early on, even mid-career, is like I do have a gift to be able to develop people into their next level of proficiency, professionalism, and leadership. So I started the work really early on, and I have an entrepreneurial and a corporate career. So I have a strong corporate career background, and I've also run 3 businesses. And in running the 3 businesses, I've learned how to self-lead, because that's what's needed when you're an entrepreneur. In a corporate environment, I really learned how to lead teams of others. In about 15 years, I started to put together a body of work that has emerged as this book. This is the body of work that I've been using for the last 15 years. So it's been a love project, and about 1.5 years ago, I got really serious about it, and I worked with Kathy Fayok, who I know couldn't join us today, but a big tip of the hat to Kathy. She did a writer's retreat. I looked at it and I said, it's now or never. And then we got the book written. I found a powerful writing partner in Susan Lindner, and she kicked me into gear. And then I found you about 6 months ago, when we've been on the process of getting this book out into the world, and I'm really pleased.
Well, so we're excited. I'm glad you called out some of the people that have helped you along this journey, because I think, isn't that part of what being a humanized leader is, right? Is recognizing you. And you said something very interesting. You said you learned to self-lead, because that's what we have to do. And it is interesting. You're right. There's nobody telling us, do this, go do that, unless we're hiring consultants to tell us to do those things.
Right.
So really good. But I'm grateful that you called out Kathy Fayok and others on your journey. So tell us a bit about The Humanized Leader. Where did the idea come for this book? I have to bring it up because we can, right?
There we go. Woohoo!
So what's the impetus behind creating this book, The Humanized Leader?
Well, interestingly enough, the body of work for many years was called Leadership Mastery. And any of you who are on the live cast who are students of mine, that's the program that you went through. And then, I don't know, about a couple of months ago, I was really playing with the title. And what I realized, and again, I am not going to get political here, but what I realized is that the world had lost some of its humanity in terms of leadership, that we were highly polarized, that neighbors couldn't talk to neighbors, brothers couldn't talk to sisters. And it kind of broke my heart. And I realized that this body of work that I had been employing for many, many years actually was a solution to that problem. And knowing that we could become our own self-led, emotionally intelligent leaders, and that bleeds over to the rest of the world and creates a ripple into the rest of the world. I was talking with my writing partner, and she said, humanize, human. And all of a sudden, we both looked at each other and said, the humanized leader. That's what this is about. This is about taking leadership and humanizing it, because that's the common denominator. That's who we all are. We're all humans. And then we can elevate our processes and our beliefs and our patterns and our, whatever sometimes it either elevates us or gets us stuck, and find our commonality as human beings. And the humanized leader was born.
So I was looking at your book. You have a section here where you talk about communication, and you talk about the heart of communication. And actually, you say the HE, open parent, ART, as in the art and the heart of communication. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. What do you think about it? What makes or breaks us is our ability to connect with another human being. So, if we all lived in a cave and we're only responsible for ourselves, who cares? But every day we wake up and there are people in our lives, or people on the bus, or hopefully on the bus soon, people on the bus, or people, in the plane, or in our office, or now in our Zoom rooms. And it requires a connection. And the way to connect, I can make eye contact with you and connect with you all day, but as I open my mouth, am I opening my heart? As I open my ears, am I opening my heart? Because communication is about building relationship and about creating connection. So for instance, there's a big section in the book around listening. And I say listening is love. It is. The neurons that fire when we feel deeply loved are very similar to the neurons that fire when we feel deeply listened to. It's respect, it's connection, it's an open-hearted way of being in the world. And that's really what's at the core of the humanized leader.
So when you wrote this book, who did you have in mind? Like who are you hoping is going to read this book and take these lessons to heart? Who's that person?
I actually had 3. So that's sometimes what makes it a little confusing. And I guess that's the entrepreneur in me. It's like, don't pin me down. I had 3. So I took a look and I said, who have I worked with that I just respect and love? And just a handful of beautiful faces popped up in front of me. And I knew that they were entrepreneurial, growth-minded leaders of an organization who were very committed to their teams being powerful leaders, being the best leader that they could possibly be. And some of you might be watching this right now, and you know who I'm talking about. And I said, those people, I love working with that group of people because they're committed not only to themselves, but they're committed to their teams. So an entrepreneurially minded or founded growth organization. And the sweet spot also could be family-led business, a family-owned or family-led business. The second I took a look at it and I said, who is an emerging leader who hasn't been exposed to this? They may not necessarily be leading a team yet, but they absolutely want to grab hold of what it would take for them to be a leader of themselves and a leader of other people. And this became a roadmap for them. So that was a second point of view. And the third point of view was for people like me. I'm entrepreneurially based and I started a business. And how do I then start to work with vendors and freelancers and other team members and really be a solid, heart-based, wholehearted, humanized leader with teams of people in an entrepreneurial environment? So you got the 3. You got the person who's already growing the business and has a team. You've got an emerging next level leader who needs a roadmap, and you've got me.
Well, and I'm bringing this up. I'll leave this comment up because we have this comment here from Management Essentials. Would highly recommend for leaders, future leaders, and professionals engaged in the business of elevating people and companies to the best version of themselves.
Well, a tip of the hat to John Lucas, who is the CEO of Management Essentials. We've gotten to know each other pretty well over the past year, and I know this is at the heart of all of the work that he does. And I'm actually really proud to be a part of the Management Essential teams. I'm a Management Essentials team. I want to work with people who think like I do and believe like I do.
I have another question to pass to you from Chris Simmons. It says, "Hey, Mary Pat, can you give us one of your favorite examples of what not to do as a leader?" She leads a group of women at church and wants to know.
Oh, I love this. Okay, so here's one. I've got about 10, but here's one. And especially being either in a not-for-profit or a church or a volunteer organization, don't be so helpful. And so here's what I mean by that. So part of the book, we look at the drama triangle of villain, victim, and hero. And so the hero seems wonderful and of service and very helpful. But we have to be really, really careful is that the hero robs everybody else of their accountability and their contribution and swoops in to save the day and fix things. And it's not malintended at all. It's really coming from the heart. It's really coming from a place of service. It just is overkill. And so especially if you're in a volunteer-led organization or if you're in a social service agency or something where service is at the core of it, just be careful not to be so helpful because you rob other people of their opportunity to contribute.
Wow. Okay. Now, I didn't expect that answer at all. And I think I needed to hear it myself. Because even as an entrepreneur, maybe especially as an entrepreneur, we've got team members who work with us here. And when an issue comes up, there are some times where I just want to okay, I'll tell you what, I'll take that off your plate. I'll take care of this one, et cetera. And I think I'm doing them a favor when perhaps I'm not, right? Because there's also that they're also maybe losing the opportunity to learn from the experience of taking care of that issue themselves. And of course, then we have the whole thing of where are our boundaries of work, and
That's right.
So that is really interesting.
Well, I want to add something to that, Everett. I think actually I've met some of your staff. They've been very supportive to me. They are such smart people. They're very accomplished people, and the very recognition that you don't have to make all the decisions and you don't have to check all the boxes. And I'm not just saying to you, Everett. I'm saying to other people as well. That actually really creates an opportunity for someone to flourish and grow. Now, for the entrepreneur who's trying to scale and grow their business, this is a cornerstone of you being able to let go, delegate, step back, let someone else step into their perfect power in order to accomplish goals for you. And then you get to step out and elevate into your genius, the things that are your sweet spots and the ways that you can move the needle and to use metaphors, turn the dial. And then you've got a team of powerful problem solvers that have your back. I can't think of a better way to have an entrepreneurial journey.
It really is excellent. Thank you so much for that. This is one of the advantages I get, as a publisher, is we get to meet all these wonderful people who are much smarter than we are, and whose superpower is in areas in which we struggle. So this really is fantastic. Thank you so much. Let me go back and do the obligatory plug here.
Okay.
A reminder that the book is available right now, The Humanized Leader. It's on Amazon, and you can pick up the Kindle version for 99 cents today. And we did get a comment here, and so I'm not going to ignore it. Malia put in, let's see, let me go find it. Such a gorgeous cover, she commented.
We love the cover.
So, there's a story here, right? Do we share the story behind the cover and the poll? Do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
So for the listeners here and watchers, what we'll often do in the process of creating a book is create a poll of various versions of the cover, because we don't just create one or two cover concepts. In fact, in this case, I think we had a couple hundred or something like
so
that. So we run a poll and we get people's feedback and everything like that. But inevitably, sometimes we find conflict, right? That some people say this one's best, this one's best, this one's best. And I am so glad we settled on this one. I just couldn't be happier with the feel of it, because I just look at this and I go, hey, and this may not show that great on the camera, but I'm that guy. I think that's me, or that gal, or whatever. But like right there, the sun's behind me, and I want to be human. I want to be the best leader I can be, both with my team, but also with my clients, the people in my mastermind group, the other people I come into contact with, my family, all of those things.
Yeah. I know Kathy Fitz is on here, and she, I noticed for a moment in the chat, she had mentioned, and I think it's really important. So she's like my soul sister. Okay. So we started, this journey, 25 years ago together. She's very, very big in the Vistage community. So I'm really happy that she's here. But I love this comment that she said. So all of us need, I'm going to go back to the human element, to our big game of life, and then bring it into our business game. So I think that captures part of what I'm looking at here. Is the level set is that we're all human. We have families, we have relationships, we have, our community. So my big game with this, is when you inspire other leaders who then can go out into the world and inspire others in their world, then we are solving issues with communities and with churches and with mosques and synagogues and basketball teams and families and social service agencies. We're solving those problems because we've equipped those leaders with the inspiration to be the best human version of themselves. And then they take it into their world. And that's why I think this, I very boldly said somewhere on social media, I think this book could change the world. And I don't mean to be egoic about it. I think if, anyone could teach these principles, take them and teach them, because I think the concepts actually create healthy communities and a healthy world.
Well, and the beautiful thing about the way you're going about this, both through the book and through the speaking and the teaching and training that you do, is you're talking to leaders and would-be leaders, and therefore those people will have impact. So everything you are doing is being multiplied, and that that multiplication could be times one person, but that one person impacts 50 or 5,000 or 5 million.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Sue has a question for you.
Okay.
Pull it up here. Sue Meadows. Can you talk about the difference between managing and leading?
What a great question. And it's actually the first part of the first chapter or the first couple of chapters in the book. So everyone who runs a project or a process or leads people has a management function. So we're all managers. If we might be managing our own checkbook, or we're all in a management function, which means I have to do the tasks that get the job done. And hopefully the tasks are aligned to some sort of strategic way of looking at it, or strategic plan, or what the end goal is, and you're managing to that end goal. Leadership, though, says, how do I take it? And it needs to be together. So let me just give you the end game. It needs to be together. Leadership says, how do I inspire? How do I motivate? How do I connect the dots? How do I communicate in such a way that people are inspired to take their own action? How do I lead myself so I have self-discipline, or that I am impeccable with how I'm communicating? Those types of things have to be overlaid on top of manager. And if not, then if you're just a manager in title only, but you have no leadership skills, I call you a despot. You're just dictating all over the place, and you're using your title or your position to say, I'm the boss, I'm the leader of this, so you have to do it. And a leader, on the other hand, says, look, yes, we have to get this done. How do we get this done in a way that feels productive and inspirational and takes us to the next vision, the next thing? So it's really moving process into action is management, moving leaders and people into action is leadership.
Okay, so one of the things, I know we're here today to promote your book, but for those people who want to go deeper with you, because obviously I'm listening to you, I'm like, okay, it's like, obviously you're a very experienced trainer, and have had impact in a lot of lives. What's the best way for people to connect with you if they want to find out more or perhaps engage with you?
So go to my website as opposed to the book site, which is leadersinspired.com. Now, leaders is plural, so that kind of flips people up sometimes. Leadersinspired.com. And if you want to get in touch with me directly, you're going to find Mandy Hill, she's my incredible assistant, and she's at support@leadersinspired.com, and she can make sure that we get connected with a conversation if you'd like to have one.
All right, I put that into the chat log.
Thank you.
Correctly.
Beautiful. You did it good.
All right. Beautiful comment here from Kathy Fitz. Mary Pat, you taught me years ago about this. Management is people, plan, and process. And leadership is fellowship or fellowship. She wrote fellowship. Is that a turn of phrase I'm unfamiliar with?
Fellowship and fellowship could be both, you know?
And helping people emerge the leader within. That is so wonderful. She says you are the best.
By Kathy Fitz.
Yeah, I love it. So let me ask, if when you wrote the book and you've expressed to us who you're talking to, what do you want people to do after they've read the book? They've read the book, they close it up, and they stop. What do you want them to do then? What's the next thing?
We'll get to the end game of the book is that go through the book, learn the concepts, and then throw the book away. And I really mean that. It's that I want you to implement. I want you to implement, which is, okay, so you say, I think I'm a great listener, but after reading it, you're like, no, I jump to response. The minute I hear someone, I'm not taking the time to understand them. I want you to spend a week practicing understanding and suspending all of your assumptions and judgments and just listening to people. Or say you've got an issue with accountability. I want you to practice inspecting the things that you expect, but really inspecting from a place of respect. Inspect with respect. I want you to practice that. So if you are finding yourself emotionally triggered a lot, and in the times that we're living in right now, that wouldn't be uncommon. I want you to practice your strategies for a week, for two or a month. I want you to practice them so that when you're in a hot trigger, you don't have to react. You can actually move into leadership instead. So I guess the thing is, like, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. I actually haven't heard that for several years, I think. So
it's the old actress in me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I was going to bring some news here because let me see if I can get to this here. Oh, that's.
Do we need a drum roll?
Well, no, I actually was going to tell you that your book is currently ranking. It's your book is currently a hot new release. Actually, Amazon is featuring it right now, and I was just going to see if I can throw that on the screen real quick. Let's see how that works. Application window, great. Okay, I'll just do that one.
That's exciting. I'm a hot new release. No one's called me hot in a long time. I'm a hot new release.
But there you are. Actually, a hot new release in education, leadership.
Very good.
And also, if I remember correctly, in organizational change, which of course is a big deal given what you're about.
Okay, too. Yeah.
So I just thought it'd be kind of fun to share that. Let me stop.
Well, thank you to everyone here who's on the live cast, because I know you helped me to get to that status. Thank you.
Well, Mary Pat, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? Is there some favorite nugget from the book or favorite story that you'd like to share before we sign off?
I kind of don't want to give away the closing story, but I will tell you that whatever action you take, there is a reaction to your action. And so if you throw people away, then you get thrown away. If you embrace and love someone's differences, then your differences will be loved. It's kind of like, someone would call it the law of karma. Someone would call it the boomerang effect. What you give out, you get back. And so if you want to live a powerful, joyful, productive, and inspirational life, it's not out of your reach at all. I mean, it really isn't. Now, do we all have days where we're dragging our knuckles and going, rigor about something in our life? Of course it's going to happen. If you want to predominantly live a life where you have impact and you're joyful, even if you're just talking to your neighbors, it's up to you to do that. And read my book, take a, go to a beautiful seminar somewhere, find a coach, take advantage of training in your organizations, whatever it is, just up level your thought process about how it could be to interact with other human beings, and, get out of your cave and into the world and make a difference. So I don't want to give away the story in the book, because the last story actually is a true story and it's pretty powerful. So you guys who have it, you can jump ahead and read it if you want. The end of the day, my purpose would be filled. I would die a happy woman if everyone who read this book became more human with the people around them and were willing to step into their own personal and powerful leadership, and also take on the leadership mantle in their organizations and in their families and their communities when they're asked to do so.
So, thank you. And that really is inspiring. I chuckled a little bit when you said, the last story is a true story. It was like, oh, the other ones are all lies.
Oh, no, they're all true. And so here's the funny thing. So all of you, my clients who are watching this, you're going to see yourselves. Oh, boy. I've hidden the names to protect the innocent, but I will tell you, this is just the thought I want to share about this. I am the luckiest woman in the world because I do the thing that I love to do, and what's in my genius spot. I get to do that every single day. But what's more important is that I also get to be the student. You think I'm teaching you, haha, I'm actually the student, because every interaction that I have with a client or somebody that I'm coaching or a team that I'm training, every single interaction, I walk away with a golden nugget from me. And so the stories that I shared in the book and the examples that I've shared in the book and anything that I am teaching to anyone who has come behind, because you all were the first, has been enriched by the things that you have taught me. And so, I mean, I don't know how better to wrap that up, but to say, if you see yourself in the book, thank you, because you taught me something important.
Wow. Wow. You brought to mind something I read last night, and it was, the four hints or tips from Warren Buffett, and they weren't about it. And it turns out that really none of them were so much about investing, but one of them was go to bed smarter each day.
Love it.
Go to bed smarter than you woke up, and learn one thing, and that very often will be from your clients. It could be from your team, your subordinates. Could be from coaches and things like that, but it can come from so many different places. I want to share a few comments with you before we sign off. Dana, who I know is chiming in from London tonight, I believe.
Oh, thank you.
Tonight for her, says, love your heart for people and seeing them be all they could be.
Thank you.
Management Essentials is asking when the print version will be available. It is available now. It is available now. The Kindle and the paperback are available literally as we speak. We would encourage you to pick up, if you're interested in paperback, by all means get it, but also pick up the Kindle for 99 cents. It's only 99 cents.
I'm going to put a plug in. Every single time you are on social media and you see someone doing a 99-cent Kindle launch, buy the Kindle and then buy the paperback. I do the same thing. It's like, support the people who are willing to, this is important. Support the people who are willing to put themselves out there for your benefit. Spend the 99 cents. And if you want the paperback, buy the paperback too. But I'm really telling you, this has been, I said to, I think I was talking to my sister, I said, I feel naked and it's okay. But I feel totally exposed. I mean, I'm a rugged individualist. Sometimes I don't want to ask for help. And you guys have seen my social media and my emails all over the darn place. And I've had to say, help me, help me, help me. And your 99 cents Kindle purchase is just an affirmation that it's okay to ask for help. So anytime you see a 99-cent Kindle, make the purchase, support the author.
I think it's great advice, especially in this case on a launch day where it's really the Kindle that is going to have the most immediate impact on ranking of the book on Amazon. And that's why the focus, for those watching, why the focus really is on that Kindle version.
Yeah.
Certainly by all means, pick them both up if you like. And then the last comment here, Kathy, and I love it. She said, years ago, Mary Pat would tell her consulting clients, I did my job if you don't need me anymore. And I love that I resonate with it. I also think of it from the standpoint of a business coach. That's a horrible business model, right? Right? It's a horrible business model. But but from an outcome standpoint, that's exactly what you want, right? Is people to take up the lessons and run with them, first with your help and then without your help.
Yeah. And then teach them.
Yeah. That's where, yeah, there you go. And then, yeah, that's right. Because then they can just take those lessons and take them on to share them with others. Well, Mary Pat, this has been a delight. Thank you so much for your time. This is an exciting day for you. We are excited. I hope that you have, your favorite beverage, adult or otherwise, available for celebration later this evening. I know that we talked with one of our authors earlier this week, and I happened to catch he and his wife out having champagne after their book launch. And so anyway, it is an exciting time. Thank you for
to let you know how I'm wrapping up here is I have 2 of my 3 kids here with me. We will celebrate together. This has been a family affair. I mean, my daughter has held my hand with technology and some design elements through the entire process. My son did the first pass of editing, made me a better writer, and my son Riley contributed illustrations to the book, and now he did between he and his sister are doing an Instagram, which is I'll create a doodle or a haiku for you if you purchase my mom's book. So we're all going to celebrate together.
Okay, let's not leave that there. Okay, because you've got this bonus. This is a very unusual bonus that actually we've never had anyone offer in any one of our launches. So would you explain that again, and then I think also explain how to take advantage of that offer?
Riley Knight is on Instagram. Leah Knight is also on Instagram. And Leah is offering a haiku. She'll also do a doodle too, if you can prove that you've made a purchase during this time. And Riley has he's spaghetti _Joe. Leah, if you're watching, go ahead and put your Instagram in the chat if you want to do some extra work for mom. But Riley's offering, I will do a doodle of anything you want for $1, and the $1 goes to buy the mom's book. And then Leah did the same thing. I'll do a haiku or a doodle for you for $1 if you buy mom's book in the launch period. So I thought that was super creative, and I was really grateful for it.
Okay. Is there an email address I can put up or anything like that?
I don't know if Leah is, she might be shy right now. I don't really know what her Instagram is, but here we go. Thank you. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So you connect through Instagram there.
You gotta prove you purchased though, and then you get one-of-a-kind artwork or poetry.
Wow. I love that. I love that. That's so fun. Okay. Oh, let me bring that up and put it on the screen too. Right. There we go. So @_spaghetti Joe underscore afterward, it looks like, and @leah.knight. So fantastic. Get your free haiku, get your free doodle. Like I said, that's a new one. We thank you for the novel approach. So terrific. All right. Well, with that, I think we should probably sign off, let people get on with the rest of their day, but please pick up the Kindle version of the book. Mary Pat, it is a joy to have you here. Congrats again on your launch. Let's sign this thing off with the cool jazz music. And Everett O'Keefe from Ignite Press speaking here. Take care and God bless.
Thank you.